This is how much I make in the Marine Corps Reserve as a sergeant. Over the past few years, I've made content about various topics in the military, and the one that seems to have consistent interest is how much military members are paid. So today, I'll be going over how much money I make as a reservist, how the system works, and how you can calculate your pay as well for any rank. By the way, this is no BS. I'm not a recruiter, and I'll be showing you guys everything, and even my bank account screenshots later on in the video so that you guys can see the final amount that I get after taxes and other fees. But before I show you guys how much I make, you need to know about some important things that will affect how much you get paid, because everyone's pay can be different. So for example, time in service is something to consider. If you're a sergeant, which is categorized as E5 for the pay grade, you could be getting paid less than another sergeant just because they've been in the military for longer. Another thing to consider is the TSP, otherwise known as the Thrift Savings Plan, which is basically just a retirement fund for the military. With this, you can choose to automatically take out a percentage of your paycheck every month to put it into this retirement fund. Now, I personally have my TSP set to 0 because I just know that my personal investments can do a lot better than the TSP, but I do know some Marines that have anywhere between 5 to 10% of their paycheck being invested into this TSP every single month. As you can imagine, this can add up to a decent amount of your money that you're not seeing every single month. And then there is of course the taxes and then the SGLI that's also automatically taken out of your paycheck, but this applies to all Marine reservists. Taxes are just going to be your regular federal and your state taxes. And then SGLI is basically the life insurance that you sign at MEPS saying that, if you die, your family gets, I think, up to like $500,000 or something like that. Okay, so now that we've covered what makes pay different in the Marine Corps Reserve, right? If you contribute to the TSP or if you live in a different state that has different tax brackets. Now let's go over how much money I actually make as a sergeant in the Marine Corps Reserve, which by the way, I live in California. So if you live in California as well, then the rates will be the same. Now, the simple answer is I make about $300 to $500 per regular drill weekend. If you're not interested in learning about how to actually calculate the exact amount that you're supposed to get, then you can just skip this part and jump to the other important information that I share about how drills work and also things like travel reimbursement for reservists. Now, if you are interested in learning how to actually calculate this, then watch this part. And these numbers are gonna get a little bit confusing. I'm gonna be jumping back and forth from a few different websites, but just try your best to follow along with me. Just feel free to play back the video if you miss any part of it. Okay, so the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to this website right here that I'm gonna link down below for you guys, and it just goes over the 2024 pay tables for reservists. So you can see commissioned officers with over 4 years of active duty service as enlisted, warrant officers, and then enlisted. So most of you guys are going to be enlisted, I'm assuming, watching this. And then this is where you're going to see the years of service. So if I zoom in right here a little bit, you can see that this is less than 2 years. This is 2, 3, 4, and then you just go down to your grade. So for me, I've been in 5 years now, so I'm going to go to where it says 4. And then I'm gonna go down to E5, so this is me. And so I am getting $112.19 every single drill period. All right, next I'm gonna go into my MOL, so my Marine Online, and I'm gonna go over to ARCR, which is also known as my Annual Retirement Credit Report. So I'm gonna go over down here where it says inactive duty. The active duty is for your AT, so annual training. Every year you go for 2 weeks. And as you guys can see, they have the date. So you can see that this month in September, I went on the 14th and the 15th, and I had 2 drill periods each day, which meant that I was getting $224.38 each day. Now this actually lines up because if I go back to the chart right there, $112.19, and then multiply that by 2, and that is $224.38. So that's how I get to that number. Now it's important to check on your MOL to see if you're missing any dates. So if you went on the 14th and the 15th and you only see the 14th on your MOL, that means they missed the 15th, and you need to run this up to your chain of command so that they can fix this pay problem. You can also double check if the amount is incorrect, right? So you just saw that I calculated it and you saw that it is double because you have 2 drill periods within 1 day. And don't worry if that confuses you, there's 2 drill periods within 1 day. I'm gonna explain it more later on in this video. And by the way, this number, this is gross income. This is not not net income, so it's not taxed yet. Now, in order to see all the taxes and all the fees that get taken out, you're gonna wanna log into your MyPay account. Once you log in, you're gonna want to go ahead and click on the LES, so the leave and earnings statement. And then from here, you can toggle which month and which year you wanna analyze. Now, keep in mind that your LES is gonna be 1 month behind. So if you just went to drill, then the next LES is gonna show up on the 1st of the next month. Now from here, go to the printer friendly LES, and you can see at the bottom where it says remarks, this is where you calculate everything. So for this month, you could see that with BAS, BAH, and my basic pay, I'm getting a total of $797.36. Now after my deductions, so the SGLI, which is gonna be 30 bucks, and then you also have the TSGLI, which is another $1. Then you have the federal tax, and then the Social Security, Medicare, and then the state tax. And that's all gonna total up to $130.79. So taking the total, $797.36, subtract 130.79, that's what you're gonna get total that hits your bank account, which is gonna be $666.57. Now the reason why I got BAS and BAH is because this was for AT. So this is during my annual training, the 2 weeks that I am actually active duty. But in my other months, you can see that it's different. So let's go to June, for example, and let's go to the printer friendly LES. And for this, you can see that the remarks just has the basic pay. So this was for a 3-day drill weekend, and you can see I got that $224.38 for each day. This total up to $673 minus all the deductions, and I end up with $510.03. So this is pretty typical for my drill weekends. Here's actually a screenshot of my Chase account from May and April. These were all 3 drillers, so I got pretty much that, $510. There was like an extra cent. Maybe it was the TSGLI that wasn't put in. Also, I have the dental for reservists, so that's also gonna affect it if you guys have that or not. Highly recommend, by the way, if you guys are young, do it now. Like if you guys are planning on getting braces, I think the cutoff is 21 years old or 22 years old where they stop covering braces. So if you plan on getting braces, get the dental insurance from Reserve, and that's gonna be through United Concordia. So just go ahead and search up TRICARE dental program and you can enroll. You just call them up. It's very cheap. You saw that. It's only $12.36 per month. So very, very cheap. But that's for a separate video. If you guys want to know about Reserve Dental and all the benefits and stuff that you get with it, comment below and I'll make that video in the future. So yeah, that is how much I get paid for a 3-day drill weekend. There's been months where, like for example, in September, right, this month, it was a 2-day drill weekend. So I only got $337.92. And then there are also months like February where I had a 4-day drill weekend. So this was $694.54. By the way, if you guys didn't know, you can also change your thrift savings plan contributions on your MyPay account. So every year, I think the Marine Corps automatically sets it to, I think, 5%. So for any Marines that don't know about this, they just get screwed if they don't want to contribute. I do it every year. I zero it out. And you just go to thrift savings plan right here, you click on edit, and then you just press 0, and then none of your pay is going to be sent to the TSP. Okay, now how do you calculate this for yourself? There's 2 different ways. There's an easy way and a hard way. But if you're brand new to how the reserves works, reservists are paid based on what's called drills. To make it simple for you to understand, 1 drill period is 4 hours. So if you have a full 8-hour work shift, then that's going to be 2 drill periods. That's why you guys saw earlier in my calculation, when I was taking that drill period number, I multiplied it by 2 because I had a full working day. So the hard way to do it, which is much more thorough and you're able to double check if there's any issues with your pay, if the Marine Corps owes you any money, you do it the way that I just showed you. Go to the pay table for reservists, figure out what your base pay is per drilling period, and then match it up with your annual retirement credit report, and then also verify how much you're supposed to have left after you get taken everything out on your LES on your MyPay account. Now, if you just want to see a ballpark of how much you're going to get paid, you can also use a military pay calculator like the one here on military.com. I'll link it down below for you guys to check it out. You just put in your pay grade, your pay type, military start date, and then years of service. So you guys can see that it says my basic pay is $449 per month, and this is for an average drill weekend. So an average drill weekend, in their opinion, is a 2-day drill weekend. So based off of that, if I take that $224.38 and I multiply that by 2, 2 days, I'm making $448.76, so $449. But of course, this is gonna be the gross amount. This is not after taxes and fees and all that, depending on, again, your TSP, whether you have TRICARE, dental, and all that stuff that I talked about earlier on. So yeah, let's just do another example, like if you were an E3, so Lance Corporal, and you're a reservist, and let's say you started June of 2024. So that means you have over 2 years, and so you're gonna be getting $337 for a 2-day drill weekend, and this is gross, so before taxes. Okay, now the last thing that I wanna cover is travel reimbursement on these drill weekends. You can get paid back for your travel costs as an officer or an enlisted Marine if you meet the requirements. This is gonna depend on your unit. I know that for me, every Marine that is 150 miles or over from the base is gonna be able to get up to $500 in reimbursement for the travel costs. Now this money is only for travel costs from the Marine's primary residence to the actual base. So if you're traveling from somewhere other than your primary residence to your specific training center, then they're not gonna count that. And one quick note on this, all this travel reimbursement stuff, it's gonna be ran through admin. And I know plenty of Marines that have had pay issues in the past for their travel reimbursement, whether it's because of paperwork issues or anything like that. Just be careful. So if you're coming into the reserves from active duty or you're just about to join, it behooves you, right, to make sure that you get yourself squared away with all that. Get with S1 or whoever you need to make sure that you're doing your due diligence on getting your travel reimbursement. It's your career, your money, and your responsibility to make sure that that money gets into your bank account if you deserve it, right? The Marine Corps is not just gonna do everything for you. But of course, if you're coming from active duty, then you already knew that. So that's it on how much I make as a sergeant in the Marine Corps Reserves. This was again on the reserves, so reservist, weekend warrior, whatever you wanna call it, not active duty. But if you do want me to go over a video on how active duty pay works, just comment down below and I'll make that video in the future. I hope you guys learned something from this video. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. I plan on making a lot more content about finance, investing, and just everything that there is to know about money so that I can help out any military members that are struggling in this area. My goal is to help 10,000 military members save their first $10,000. So if that's the same goal that you have, then comment down below what video you'd like to see next. Also, if you know somebody who would benefit from this information, please share it with them. I know there are plenty of Marines out there who don't know how to calculate their pay, which is something that I think should have been taught to all of us from the beginning. So yeah, please spread this information to other Marines, other units if needed. Anyway, that's it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.